What's up guys, welcome back to my channel. I am Anik, I am a classical pianist, and yes, I cut my hair. After nearly 1 year, I thought it's time and nobody sees it. But now you know. Anyway, the last weeks were like super crazy. I was part of the jury in one of the biggest youth competitions in Germany called Jugend musiziert, which was a crazy cool experience. Then there were a couple of concerts and now I'm preparing for other concerts and my final exam, so my schedule is completely full right now. I don't have so much capacity left in my brain to think about like other type of content, so I'll just go with another 1 minute, 10 minute, 1 hour challenge today with one of the most difficult pieces, ISLAMEY by Balakirev. Balakirev. I don't know how to pronounce him actually, but that's not embarrassing at all. It's considered as one of the most difficult pieces in piano literature. And after I studied all Chopin etudes, I thought, okay, let's try it. And as far as I know, actually Maurice Ravel composed Gaspard de la Nuit after this ISLAMEY to create a piece that's even more difficult. I don't know if this is true or not. I just heard it and I think it's written on Wikipedia, but psht. So today's scores are sponsored again by Strata Music. Thanks a lot for sponsoring. But I'm not so sure yet if I want to do a giveaway out of it because I think I actually would like to include this piece in my repertoire and it would be super cool if I just keep these scores. Before we get started, let's repeat the rules of the challenge. We have 1 minute, 10 minutes and 1 hour to practice a piece that we've never played before. And after every practicing session, I have to try to perform the piece just the way it is in that moment. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell if you want to support me and this channel. Please consider supporting me on Patreon. You'll find the link in the description box. Now let's get started. Okay. Ta-da! 10 minutes, come on. Oh mein Gott, Alter. Nein. Nein, ich hab's gerade verdeckt. I just discovered that there is a G flat. Scheiße. Okay. Okay, nochmal. Oh my god, that's so bad. So difficult. Okay, whatever, let's go. Okay, like always, let's talk a little bit about what I was doing in this whole time. These challenges are actually very, very stressful because I have this time limitation, and sometimes it can bring out the best out of me because I'm so focused, and sometimes it's just putting me under so much pressure and stress that I'm doing much more mistakes than I would usually do. So it's always interesting to see on which side it goes. And in this case, like especially in the first minute and maybe also in the 10 minutes, I was like too much under stress and pressure that I did so many mistakes in just reading. So I actually studied wrong notes into my fingers, which is always the worst case because afterwards in this 1 hour practicing time, I had to get rid of all these mistakes again. Now, obviously, there are a lot of repetitions again. Repetitions are really one of the most difficult techniques at the piano. It's not only depending on your personal technique and the speed of your fingers, but also it depends on your instrument. The funny thing is, just one night before I recorded this challenge, I was watching a Bollywood movie together with my brother, and it reminded me a lot of like the music inside of this movie and like all these dance scenes. While I was playing this challenge, it was just so much fun to remember all these little details in this movie. And actually, like, I'm not so much into Bollywood, and maybe I never really saw a good movie, but this one was actually pretty cool. Like, I was surprised. So what I really wanted to bring out of this music was this dancing feeling which you get out of these special rhythms and all these repetitions. And the better you understand all the rhythms and all the details inside of the scores, the easier it's going to be to bring out this dancing feeling. At some point I had to memorize the first page because it was not possible to flip the page in that speed. And luckily it's actually not so difficult to memorize this piece, at least like this beginning part that I played, as a lot of things are repeated and it's not like super complex yet. I think it's going to be much harder later on. Something that's pretty cool in this piece is also that like there are very clear contrasts in dynamics. Like we're starting in forte and then we're repeating everything in piano, and this happens again and again. So to create a very clear contrast between forte and piano, we always need a little bit of time to create the subito piano, like the sudden piano. So we keep forte until the very last note without, you know, playing into a diminuendo. And then we need a little bit of time. It's like if you're sitting in the train and the train suddenly stops, you're falling to the front and then you're going back. And exactly this time where you're falling to the front and going back, this is the time that you need to come from forte into piano so it feels natural. I don't know if this description helps, but it helps me to, you know, get a feeling for the timing. Also, I had had to look up like how fast this piece actually is like in the final tempo. The composer wrote a metronome number here. However, I have to say normally a metronome number is never like the final thing. It's just like around this speed. I think sometimes people are getting this a little bit wrong and assume that you have to play it in that speed. However, you always have to find like your own speed. It should be orientated on what the composer wants. As long as you can bring out the music in all the character and all the spirit written inside, it's totally okay to play it like a little bit slower or even a little bit faster if you are able to do it in that tempo. So this was the challenge for today. I hope you enjoyed it. If you like it, please give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell. Have you ever heard about ISLAMEY? Have you ever like tried to play it? Tell me in the comments down below. On a scale from 1 to 10, it was technically definitely one of the hardest so far. So I would give it technically a 10 out of 10. It was very, very hard to control everything. And I did manage to get that far into that piece because it's like really, really hard. Compared to Gaspard de la Nuit and Scarbeau that I played in this challenge that you'll find up here, I would say that they are similar of their like difficulty, but of course both pieces are completely different and both of them have their own challenges and their own crazy things inside. I would not want to compare it too much to each other. How high would you rank it? Tell me in the comments down below. We'll see you in the next videos. Bye. Hello. Difficult. Shame on me.